Hello everyone, my name is Eric Hoffner, and today I will be presenting my coaching philosophy presentation. A quick little introduction about myself. I'm currently a student at Georgia State University, majoring in sports administration. Some careers I like to involve myself in sports would include coaching, administration, analysis, commentating, and scouting. Certain sports levels will depend on what careers I would like to choose, but the main sports levels I like to include myself in would be high school, college, professional. However, I am open to any types of sports levels. As for the ages, it's the same thing that correlates with the sports levels. It could be from 6 years old to 40-year-old professional athletes. And the last thing is the sports I would like to involve myself would include football, basketball, baseball, and tennis. Some interest I have in the sports industry world would include commentating. I think basketball, baseball, or football are my best preferences. However, I'm open to commentating on any other sport. In terms of the level of sport to commentate on, I would prefer professionally because I think the commentators are given less names, stats, facts, and other factors that involve commentating over a player or a team's performance compared to the high school or collegiate level. In terms of the scouting, just like commentating, I think baseball, football, and basketball are my three main sports to scout on. Growing up, I played basketball, so that already gives me an upper hand when scouting a basketball game because then I can give a better um, evaluation on a player's performance. And for the administration interest, I believe the athletic director, event coordinator, and a facility manager would be my three best fits for the administration because all three of these share a same goal, and that's to create a relationship and build a relationship with a team or multiple teams, depending if it's a high school or a college or even a professional level. Um, I think all these guys are important when getting everyone on the same page. The other interest I have would be analysis. I think fantasy sports, sabermetrics, basketball, and football analytics are a great interest of analysis. Fantasy sports kind of correlates with sabermetrics, basketball, and football analytics because they give certain amount of measurements but do not give a full amount of measurements when talking about the certain sport. And the last thing I like to have interest in would be coaching. Like I said before, I grew up coaching basketball and tennis and playing it, so I already have prior experience in those. In terms of the level I would like to coach at, I am open to coaching to any level. Doesn't matter if it's high school, middle school, pee-wee. I do not have a preference of what level of coaching I would like. So some certain goals of mine after college would be to start a sports analytics company or to work for ESPN. In terms of the sports analytics company, growing up I watched a lot of sports, and when I got heavily invested in fantasy football in middle school, I really enjoyed the numbers, the data, and all the other factors and analysis that the app provided. But the main focus I really enjoyed about the app was the competition it provides when sports are going on. It gives a viewer another interest when watching the sport instead of just watching the sport for fun. People have money or other things involved when watching the sport. And the other thing I really enjoy about starting a sports analytics company would be the flexibility. Having flexible hours would benefit me a lot because it can allow me to do more research on a certain game if I really wanted to. It allows me to create more analysis or algorithms for betting strategies. And if I'm working for a coach or as a scout, sports analytics really helps because it can implement new strategies in play calling or just overall new uh, coaching philosophies when playing the sport. The other goal I like to work or do after college would be to work for ESPN. ESPN is one of the biggest sports networks in the world, and growing up, that was the sports network I watched. I think ESPN provides a lot of analysis and like highlights and fun interactions and stuff with the audience. And overall, just having a big corporation that works for sports would be my best fit because it would allow me to meet new people and possibly potentially go work for someone else just due to the connections ESPN could provide. Some challenges I'll be facing when entering the sports industry world will be the following. Applying interview will be the first challenge because depending on the applying process, depending if it's in person or online, it can help indicate me when I expect a response from the job. And so for interviewing, depending on his or her interviewing process, I may study the wrong material going into the interviewing. So studying the right material would be the first challenge of mine. The second challenge would be starting at the beginner's level. Just like everyone else, everyone has to start at the bottom and work their way up to the top. And I understand it's going to be tough times working at the beginner level and would love to work at the highest level possible, but you have to start somewhere. For the third challenge, I think meeting the right people will be a big task of mine because not only, like I mentioned with the ESPN, but meeting the right people helps create relationships and connections. And those relationships and connections can help me gain another job opportunity down the road. The fourth challenge I'll be facing is more staying focused on the one sport at a time compared to multiple sports. Since I study a bunch of sports and a lot of numbers, I usually have a tendency sometimes to mix up numbers with a different sport when talking about like a certain stat. And if I focused on one sport, that would help me eliminate a lot of my mistakes. And the last thing I would be facing as a challenge would be confronting players, staff, parents, and fans. I would use this more as a coaching standpoint because coaches obviously communicate with players and staffs, parents, and fans. And I think the biggest thing about me with these challenges would be a cooperative coaching style because a lot of challenges will be implemented by the player or staff, parent, depending on the situation. So just being professional and mature about communication with the players and staff and make sure everyone's on the same page would be one beneficial for me. For my conclusion, my main objectives is to help people understand sports by using analysis, coaching, scouting, and other teaching methods, and to present opportunities for people who don't have the chance to participate in sports.